A journey through America's most haunted graveyards. Welcome, wanderers of the eerie and seekers of the supernatural, to a chilling exploration of the United States' most haunted graveyards. Beneath the moonlit skies and amidst the weathered tombstones lies a world where the past refuses to rest, a realm where whispers of the departed echo through the stillness and shadows move with a life of their own. If you've ever felt an inexplicable chill while walking among the graves or heard faint footsteps on a deserted path, you're not alone. These hallowed grounds are more than just final resting places. They are portals to another dimension, where history, tragedy, and the supernatural intertwine in haunting harmony. In this video, we'll delve deep into the stories of America's most infamous cemeteries, places where restless spirits linger, ghostly apparitions roam, and unexplained phenomena defy logic. From spectral figures wandering beneath ancient oaks to phantom cries echoing across forgotten plots, each graveyard holds its own unique tale of horror and mystery. Whether it's the echoes of Civil War soldiers still marching in formation, the sorrowful wails of mothers searching for their lost children, or the vengeful energy of those who met untimely ends, these burial grounds pulse with an otherworldly energy that defies explanation. So, grab your lantern, dim the lights, and prepare to uncover the sinister secrets hidden beneath the moss-covered stones and iron gates of America's most haunted graveyards. Together, we'll walk the fine line between the living and the dead, where every shadow may hold a story waiting to be unearthed, and where the silence itself seems to whisper warnings to those who dare to listen. Echoes of the past. The haunting legacy of St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. Nestled in the heart of New Orleans, St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 stands as a haunting testament to the city's rich yet macabre history, earning its reputation as one of the most haunted graveyards in the United States. Established in 1789, this historic cemetery is renowned not only for its above-ground tombs, a necessity due to the city's high water table, but also for the myriad of ghostly tales that swirl around its labyrinthine paths like the mist that clings to the crypts after sunset. The most famous resident of St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 is undoubtedly Marie Laveau, the legendary Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. Her tomb, marked by 3XS carved into its stone facade by visitors seeking her mystical intervention, is a focal point of both reverence and fear. Locals and tourists alike report strange occurrences near her final resting place, whispers that seem to emanate from the walls of her crypt, sudden drops in temperature, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. Some claim to have seen her ghostly figure gliding between the tombs, her presence accompanied by the faint scent of herbs and incense, a nod to her powerful legacy in the practice of voodoo. Beyond Marie Laveau's influence, the cemetery teems with other spectral stories. One of the most chilling involves the Crying Tomb, a nondescript mausoleum said to belong to a grieving mother who lost her child to a mysterious illness in the early 1900s. Visitors recount hearing soft sobbing emanating from within the sealed structure, even during daylight hours when no one is nearby. Others have reported seeing the apparition of a woman dressed in Victorian mourning attire, her face obscured by a black veil, kneeling before the tomb as if in eternal prayer. Attempts to investigate the origin of these sounds have yielded no answers, leaving many to believe that the mother's anguish transcends the boundaries of life and death. Adding to the cemetery's haunted allure is the legend of the Black Aggie, a statue rumored to have been relocated to St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 after its original placement in Maryland. According to folklore, the statue, a grim, cloaked figure perched atop a pedestal, is cursed, bringing misfortune to anyone who dares to look directly into its hollow eyes. Witnesses describe an oppressive atmosphere surrounding the statue, with some claiming to feel an invisible hand gripping their shoulder or hear a low, guttural growl emanating from the base. Photographs taken near the statue often reveal orbs of light hovering eerily close, further fueling speculation about its malevolent energy. Another spine-chilling tale revolves around the Phantom Hearse, a ghostly procession said to appear on foggy nights. Eyewitnesses describe seeing a horse-drawn hearse gliding silently along the narrow pathways, its driver shrouded in darkness, and its wheels making no sound against the cobblestones. Those who encounter it are overcome with an overwhelming sense of dread, as though the very air around them has grown heavier. Some believe the hearse is a harbinger of death, appearing to those whose time is nearing its end, while others think it carries the souls of the forgotten, destined to wander the cemetery forever. St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 is not merely a resting place for the dead, it is a living, breathing entity steeped in history, mystery, and supernatural intrigue. Its crumbling tombs and winding alleys harbor countless secrets, each one a thread in the tapestry of New Orleans' haunted legacy. Whether drawn by curiosity, reverence, or a desire to commune with the unknown, visitors to this sacred ground quickly discover that the spirits of St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 are far from silent. They linger, watch, and wait, ensuring that their stories will continue to echo through the ages. Whispers of the Forgotten, the ghostly tales of Bachelors Grove Cemetery. Tucked away in the dense woods of Midlothian, Illinois, Bachelors Grove Cemetery stands as a haunting relic of a bygone era, its weathered tombstones and overgrown paths whispering tales of tragedy and terror. Once a quiet resting place for pioneers and settlers, this forsaken graveyard has become synonymous with paranormal activity, drawing thrill-seekers and skeptics alike to its eerie confines. Among the countless ghostly legends tied to Bachelors Grove, the White Lady looms largest, a spectral figure whose mournful presence has left an indelible mark on the cemetery's haunted reputation. The legend of the White Lady centers around a young woman who, according to local lore, was buried in the cemetery after meeting a tragic end. Some versions of the tale suggest she died in a car accident near the graveyard, while others claim she succumbed to illness or heartbreak. Regardless of the specifics, her spirit is said to haunt the grounds, often appearing as a translucent figure clad in flowing white garments. Witnesses describe her as drifting silently between the tombstones, her face obscured by a veil of sorrow. Many have reported seeing her seated on a rusted, phantom swing that hangs from a long dead tree, an image so iconic that it has become emblematic of the cemetery's haunting allure. Though no physical swing exists in the present day, photographs purportedly capturing the apparition have fueled speculation that the White Lady's grief transcends the mortal plane, binding her eternally to the place where she was laid to rest. Adding to the cemetery's spectral mystique are the persistent reports of phantom vehicles prowling its grounds. Visitors recount encounters with a ghostly Model T Ford, its headlights flickering weakly as it lumbers along the dirt paths. The vehicle, described as emitting a faint, metallic groan, appears suddenly and vanishes without warning, leaving behind only the smell of burning oil and the unsettling sensation of being watched. Some believe the phantom car belongs to a victim of a fatal accident that occurred within the cemetery's borders, while others speculate it is driven by a restless spirit unable, or unwilling, to leave the site of their demise. Perhaps the most unsettling phenomenon associated with Bachelors Grove is the recurring sightings of shadowy figures. These dark, humanoid shapes are often spotted lurking among the trees or standing motionless near the graves, their forms shifting unnaturally as if defying the laws of physics. Witnesses describe feeling an overwhelming sense of dread in their presence, as though the figures radiate a palpable aura of malevolence. In some cases, individuals have reported being physically touched or pushed by unseen hands, leaving bruises or scratches that appear inexplicably hours later. Local historians attribute these manifestations to the cemetery's turbulent past, which includes numerous desecrations and vandalism attempts over the decades. It is believed that the spirits of those disturbed by such acts remain bound to the land, their anger manifesting in violent and unpredictable ways. Equally chilling are the accounts of disembodied voices and ghostly laughter echoing through the stillness of the night. Visitors have claimed to hear faint whispers carried by the wind, their words indecipherable yet undeniably human. Others describe bursts of mirthless laughter emanating from empty corners of the graveyard, sending shivers down their spines. These auditory phenomena are often accompanied by the sensation of being followed, as though unseen eyes are tracking every movement. Some believe these sounds belong to the spirits of children buried in unmarked graves, their playful energy lingering despite the passage of time. Others argue that the laughter is a cruel trick played by more sinister entities, designed to lure unsuspecting trespassers deeper into the cemetery's shadowy embrace. Bachelors Grove Cemetery serves as a stark reminder of the thin veil between the living and the dead. Its ghostly inhabitants, whether mournful, malevolent, or simply misunderstood, refuse to fade into obscurity, ensuring that the graveyard remains a magnet for those seeking communion with the supernatural. For those brave enough to venture into its depths, the experience is as unforgettable as it is unsettling, a journey into a realm where the past refuses to let go. Shadows of Salem. The Haunting of Salem Courthouse Lawn Cemetery, Salem, Virginia, a town steeped in history and nestled amid the rolling hills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, holds a secret buried beneath its picturesque surface. The Salem Courthouse Lawn Cemetery, a seemingly serene patch of land adjacent to the historic Salem Courthouse, exudes an aura of tranquility by day. But as dusk falls and the modern world retreats, the cemetery transforms into a stage for chilling encounters and inexplicable phenomena. With its origins dating back to the late 18th century, this modest burial ground has become a focal point for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts, earning a reputation as one of the most haunted sites in the region. One of the cemetery's most enduring legends revolves around the Lady in Black, a spectral figure often sighted wandering among the weathered headstones. According to local lore, she was a devoted wife who died of a broken heart after her husband, a prominent lawyer in Salem, was murdered under mysterious circumstances. Her spirit is said to linger near his grave, forever mourning his loss. Witnesses describe her as a tall, elegant woman cloaked in a flowing black dress, her face obscured by a heavy veil. She moves silently, her form shimmering faintly in the moonlight, as if caught between worlds. Some claim to have felt a sudden drop in temperature upon encountering her, while others report hearing faint sobs carried by the wind. On several occasions, visitors have captured photographs of what appears to be her ghostly silhouette standing beside her husband's tombstone, her presence a poignant reminder of love and loss that transcends death. Adding to the cemetery's haunted reputation is the recurring phenomenon of ghostly lights. These luminous orbs, often seen darting between the graves or hovering above the ground, have puzzled both locals and researchers for decades. Some describe the lights as small, flickering pinpricks of blue or green, while others claim to have witnessed larger, pulsating spheres that seem to follow observers as they walk through the cemetery. Skeptics have attempted to explain the lights as reflections or atmospheric anomalies, but eyewitness accounts paint a more sinister picture. Many believe the lights are manifestations of restless spirits, perhaps those of Civil War soldiers buried in unmarked graves beneath the soil. During the war, Salem served as a strategic location, and skirmishes in the area left countless casualties. It is said that the lights represent the souls of these fallen soldiers, forever searching for peace or reunion with their comrades. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of Salem Courthouse Lawn Cemetery is the pervasive feeling of being watched. Visitors frequently report an overwhelming sense of unease, as though unseen eyes are tracking their every move. This sensation is often accompanied by the distinct impression of footsteps trailing behind them, though no one is there. Paranormal investigators conducting overnight vigils at the site have documented numerous instances of electronic voice phenomena, EVP, capturing disembodied voices responding to their questions or speaking in unintelligible whispers. One particularly chilling EVP recording allegedly features a man's voice saying, "Leave me be," followed by the sound of heavy breathing. Researchers speculate that these voices belong to individuals interred in the cemetery whose lives were cut tragically short, their spirits unwilling, or unable, to move on. Adding to the cemetery's eerie ambience are the reports of phantom carriages heard rumbling along the dirt paths. Witnesses describe the unmistakable sound of wooden wheels creaking and horses' hooves striking the ground, despite the absence of any visible vehicle. Some believe the carriages belonged to judges and lawyers from the courthouse's early days, their spirits compelled to return to the site where they once presided over matters of life and death. Others suggest the carriages are a remnant of funeral processions from centuries past, replayed endlessly in a spectral loop. Whatever their origin, the phantom carriages add an unsettling layer of mystery to the cemetery, reinforcing its reputation as a place where the past refuses to remain buried. For those who dare to explore Salem Courthouse Lawn Cemetery after dark, the experience is both haunting and humbling. The ghostly lights, the mournful lady in black, and the pervasive sense of being watched serve as reminders that history leaves an indelible mark, not only on the land but also on the spirits that inhabit it. Whether driven by grief, duty, or unresolved conflict, the entities that linger here ensure that the cemetery remains a place where the boundary between the living and the dead feels razor thin. As the stars twinkle above and the wind whispers through the trees, the spirits of Salem Courthouse Lawn Cemetery continue to tell their stories, inviting those brave enough to listen to step closer and tread carefully. The Eternal Watchers. The haunting of Greenwood Cemetery. Nestled in the heart of Brooklyn, Greenwood Cemetery stands as a sprawling testament to both beauty and sorrow, its meticulously landscaped grounds and towering monuments offering a stark contrast to the bustling cityscape beyond its gates. Established in 1838, this National Historic Landmark is not only the final resting place for over 500,000 souls but also a site steeped in spectral lore. Known as one of the most haunted cemeteries in the United States, Greenwood has earned its reputation through decades of chilling encounters, ghostly apparitions, and inexplicable phenomena that defy rational explanation. Beneath its serene exterior lies a labyrinth of restless spirits, each tethered to the land by the weight of their unfinished stories. Among the cemetery's most notorious tales is that of the Wandering Sentinel, a spectral figure said to patrol the grounds with unwavering vigilance. Described as a soldier in tattered Civil War garb, the Sentinel is believed to be the spirit of a Union soldier who died defending Brooklyn during the tumultuous years of the Civil War. Witnesses recount seeing him pacing silently along the cemetery's winding paths, his boots scuffing against the gravel as he gazes intently into the distance. Some claim to have heard the faint jingle of spurs or the metallic clink of a saber accompanying his movements, while others report feeling a sudden chill as he passes by. Despite countless attempts to photograph or document his presence, the Sentinel always eludes capture, disappearing into the shadows as though swallowed by the earth itself. Locals believe he remains bound to Greenwood, eternally guarding the graves of his fallen comrades and ensuring their memory endures. Adding to the cemetery's haunted tapestry is the legend of the Weeping Widow, a sorrowful apparition often seen kneeling before a particular headstone near the cemetery's central lake. Clad in a black mourning gown and veiled in shadow, the widow is said to embody the grief of countless women who lost loved ones to war, illness, or tragedy. Visitors have described hearing her muffled sobs echoing across the still waters, a haunting melody that seems to rise and fall with the breeze. Some claim to have seen tears streaming down her translucent face, while others report feeling an overwhelming wave of sadness wash over them as they approach her resting place. Attempts to locate the specific grave she guards have proven fruitless, leading many to believe she represents a collective spirit, a manifestation of the universal pain of loss that permeates the cemetery's hallowed grounds. Equally unnerving are the recurring reports of ghostly choir music emanating from the Gothic Revival-styled chapel perched atop Battle Hill, the cemetery's highest point. Constructed in the mid-19th century, the chapel was originally intended as a place of solace for mourners, but its acoustics have since become a conduit for otherworldly harmonies. Late-night visitors describe hearing ethereal voices rising in song, their melodies both beautiful and haunting. Some claim the music is accompanied by the faint scent of incense, as though a long-forgotten service is being conducted within the chapel's cold, stone walls. Paranormal investigators have recorded these eerie performances using audio equipment, capturing what they believe to be the voices of clergy and congregants who once gathered there. Theories abound regarding the source of the music. Some suggest it is the spirits of those interred nearby, while others propose it is a residual haunting, replaying moments of devotion and reflection from centuries past. Perhaps the most spine-chilling phenomenon tied to Greenwood Cemetery is the appearance of shadowy figures in the periphery of vision. These amorphous shapes, often described as darker than the surrounding darkness, flit between the tombstones and vanish when approached. Witnesses report feeling an oppressive weight in the air as the figures draw near, as though the very atmosphere shifts to accommodate their presence. Some describe the figures as humanoid, their outlines distorted and elongated, while others claim they resemble animals or abstract forms. One particularly harrowing account comes from a group of teenagers who ventured into the cemetery after hours. They recounted seeing a massive, shadowy wolf-like creature stalking them from a distance, its glowing eyes fixed on their every move. Terrified, they fled the scene, only to discover the next morning that their footprints had been partially erased, as though something, or someone, had retraced their steps. Greenwood Cemetery's haunted reputation extends beyond its individual stories. encompassing the collective energy of those interred within its bounds. From politicians and artists to everyday citizens, the cemetery is a microcosm of American history, its graves bearing witness to triumphs, tragedies, and everything in between. Yet, it is the spirits of those who cannot, or will not, let go that give Greenwood its spectral allure. Whether driven by duty, grief, or unresolved conflict, these eternal watchers ensure that the cemetery remains a place where the past is never truly buried. As the sun sets over Brooklyn and the shadows lengthen across the landscape, the spirits of Greenwood Cemetery emerge from their slumber, reminding all who dare to visit that death is not the end, but merely another chapter in the endless cycle of existence. The phantom riders of Boot Hill Cemetery, perched on a windswept hill overlooking the rugged plains of Tombstone, Arizona. Boot Hill Cemetery is a stark reminder of the Wild West's untamed past. Established in the late 19th century, this iconic burial ground earned its name from the many outlaws, gunfighters, and drifters who met violent ends and were buried with their boots still on. Today, Boot Hill stands as one of the most haunted cemeteries in the United States, its weathered tombstones and desolate landscapes serving as a backdrop for ghostly tales that blur the line between history and the supernatural. Among its many legends, the Phantom Riders reign supreme, a spectral posse whose presence has terrified visitors and locals alike for generations. The story of the Phantom Riders begins with the infamous gunfight at the OK Corral, a bloody showdown that cemented Tombstone's place in Western lore. On October 26, 1881, Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, and their allies clashed with the Clanton McLaury gang in a shootout that lasted mere minutes but claimed the lives of 3 cowboys. The bodies of Billy Clanton and Frank and Tom McLaury were hastily interred at Boot Hill, their graves marked by simple wooden crosses. According to legend, the spirits of these slain outlaws refused to rest, instead returning as ghostly riders who haunt the cemetery and surrounding hills. Witnesses described seeing a group of shadowy figures mounted on spectral horses, galloping silently across the terrain as though reliving their final moments. Their forms are often accompanied by the faint sound of hoofbeats and the metallic clink of spurs, though no physical evidence of their passage remains. Adding to the eerie mystique of the Phantom Riders is the recurring phenomenon of ghostly gunfire. Visitors to Boot Hill have reported hearing the sharp crack of pistols and rifles echoing through the stillness of the night, despite the absence of any visible combatants. Some claim the shots seem to emanate from the graves of the fallen cowboys, as if their spirits are locked in an eternal replay of the gunfight that claimed their lives. Others describe the sound of bullets whizzing past their ears, accompanied by the sensation of being grazed by something unseen. Paranormal investigators have captured audio recordings of these phantom shots, their timing and rhythm eerily consistent with historical accounts of the OK Corral shootout. Theories abound regarding the source of the gunfire. Some believe it is a residual haunting, a replay of the violence that scarred the land, while others argue it is the work of vengeful spirits seeking justice for their untimely deaths. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of Boot Hill Cemetery is the pervasive sense of being pursued. Visitors frequently report feeling as though they are being followed by unseen riders, their presence marked by the distant sound of approaching hoofbeats. Those who turn to confront the source often find nothing but empty desert stretching toward the horizon. However, the sensation of being watched persists, growing stronger as night falls and the temperature drops. One particularly harrowing account comes from a family who visited the cemetery during a full moon. As they explored the grounds, they noticed a thick fog rolling in, obscuring their view. Suddenly, they heard the unmistakable sound of horses galloping toward them. Panicked, they fled to their car, only to glance back and see a group of shadowy figures silhouetted against the moonlight, their faces obscured by wide-brimmed hats. The figures vanished as quickly as they appeared, leaving the family shaken and questioning what they had witnessed. The eerie enigma of Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Nestled in the heart of Los Angeles, Hollywood Forever Cemetery stands as a paradoxical blend of glamour and gloom, where the glittering legacy of Hollywood's elite mingles with the shadows of the supernatural. Established in 1899, this iconic burial ground is the final resting place for countless celebrities, directors, and industry titans, including Rudolph Valentino, Judy Garland, and Johnny Ramone. Yet beneath its manicured lawns and ornate mausoleums lies a darker side, one steeped in ghostly tales and paranormal phenomena that have earned it a reputation as one of the most haunted cemeteries in the United States. Among its spectral residents, none are more enigmatic or unsettling than the Lady in Red, a mysterious apparition whose presence continues to captivate and terrify visitors. The legend of the Lady in Red centers around a woman whose identity remains shrouded in mystery. Dressed in a flowing crimson gown, she is said to wander the cemetery's pathways, her movements graceful yet purposeful. Witnesses describe her as an elegant figure, her face obscured by a delicate veil that seems to shimmer in the moonlight. Some claim to have seen her standing silently before specific graves, as if paying respects to those interred below, while others report catching glimpses of her reflected in the still waters of the cemetery's pond. Despite numerous attempts to photograph her, the Lady in Red always eludes capture, dissolving into the shadows as though she were never there. Locals speculate that she may be the spirit of a starlet who met a tragic end, her fame and fortune unable to shield her from the harsh realities of life or death. Adding to the cemetery's haunted allure is the recurring phenomenon of ghostly film screenings. Hollywood forever is renowned for hosting outdoor movie nights, where classic films are projected onto a mausoleum wall for audiences to enjoy under the stars. However, some visitors claim that these screenings attract more than just living patrons. Witnesses recount seeing shadowy figures seated among the crowd, their forms flickering in and out of existence like old film reels. Others describe hearing faint applause or laughter emanating from empty rows, as though unseen spectators are reacting to the movies. Paranormal investigators have captured EVP recordings during these events, capturing what they believe to be the voices of deceased actors and filmmakers critiquing the films or reminiscing about their heyday. Theories abound regarding the source of these spectral attendees. Some suggest they are drawn to the nostalgia of the cinema, while others propose they are reliving moments of glory denied to them in life. Fading footsteps. Reflecting on the shadows of haunted grounds as we draw this journey to a close, it becomes clear that the haunted graveyards of the United States are more than mere locations. They are thresholds to another realm, where the boundaries between life and death blur like the mist that clings to the crypts after sunset. Each story we've explored, from the spectral sentinels of Greenwood Cemetery to the phantom riders of Boot Hill and the enigmatic Lady in Red of Hollywood Forever, reveals a shared truth. These burial grounds bear witness to the fragility of human existence and the enduring power of memory. The tombstones, weathered by time and nature, act as both markers of the past and conduits for the supernatural, preserving the echoes of lives lost and ensuring that their stories ripple through eternity. What makes these graveyards so hauntingly compelling is not just the tales of tragedy and loss, but the way they invite us to confront our own mortality. The ghostly figures wandering beneath ancient oaks, the disembodied voices carried by the wind, and the inexplicable phenomena that defy logic all serve as reminders that the past is never truly gone. It lingers, waiting for moments of quiet reflection to reveal itself. These haunted grounds challenge us to look beyond the surface beauty of manicured lawns and ornate mausoleums, urging us to acknowledge the shadows that dwell beneath. But perhaps the most profound takeaway is the universality of these stories. Across cultures, eras, and regions, humanity has always sought to honor its dead, creating spaces of reverence and remembrance. Yet, with every grave that is dug and every tombstone erected, there is a reminder of the cost of that connection. The spirits of those who perished, whether outlaws buried in haste, grieving widows consumed by sorrow, or starlets whose fame could not shield them from fate, linger not out of malice, but out of longing. They seek recognition, closure, or simply a voice to tell their stories. In listening to these whispers, we honor their memories and affirm our shared humanity. As you leave this video behind and perhaps venture to one of these haunted graveyards yourself, take a moment to pause and listen. Let the cool breeze brush against your skin and the rustling leaves fill your ears. Somewhere in that symphony of nature, you might catch a fleeting glimpse, or a whispered word, of the past reaching out to touch the present. And remember, the graves hold secrets far deeper than their soil. Thank you for joining me on this chilling exploration of America's most haunted graveyards. If you enjoyed this journey into the supernatural, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own ghostly encounters in the comments below. Until next time, Keep your lantern close and your curiosity sharper, because the shadows are always watching.